So for this week, the album that we are going to be discussing is the brand new Kid Cudi album, Insano. So Insano is the ninth studio album by American musician Kid Cudi. It was released on January 12th, 2024. The album is a follow-up to Cudi's previous album, Intergalactic, a hip-hop and trap album. It is also his last contractual album with
Mm.
Republic Records. So, Eric, your thoughts on Kid Cudi's ninth studio album?
So this is my first, I would say, Kid Cudi experience, and obviously I have heard songs from him before, but I didn't know that he was the guy that made the song. For instance, the song "Day and Night" I think is one of his
Mm,
biggest songs,
yep.
which I think is an okay song. I just don't like. I just don't like the fact that when he sings, he sings slightly flat, and it just drives me
Mm,
insane. And it's just like I don't know whether he's doing it on purpose, but it seems like he's not. It seems like that's just what he is doing, and it just like I just couldn't get my mind off that. I just could not get past that. Um, Now I felt like this was like there was a lot of tracks on this album, 21 tracks,
mm-hmm.
and I think
All
I don't
short,
know if it
short
was
songs.
they are short songs, and I was surprised because then when you actually look at the total like
Runtime.
minutes, it's an hour and 4 minutes,
Yep.
right? So I mean it's not that's not too bad, but it's like you look at the out, you're like, oh man, this is gonna take forever, but it actually didn't. Um, Good things I'll say about this album. Uh, it was well produced, very
Yes.
well produced. Um, I don't know if he was solely the songwriter. I'm assuming he is.
No, he has multiple writers at this point.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know. That's just the general trend. A lot
Mm,
of hip hop artists these days go with.
are
They
doing.
delve more into the pop spectrum where they just hire a bunch of writers to do their stuff, which is unfortunate.
So I found that that makes a lot of sense because I found that this album was very like cookie cutter in terms of the lyrics. The lyrics were, I didn't think the lyrics were very special. Like I thought, I'm like, this is like child's play, like lyrically, like especially some of the other hip hop like bands and artists that we've reviewed on this show,
Mm.
and it's just I like, and I always go back to those. And again, I'm no expert in this field, but I just found the songs like some of the songs are just very very cheesy and very weak. So I actually really like the opening track. I was like, this is kind of cool. This is interesting. And it kind of sets that, like you said, that intergalactic kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second song came on, Keep Bouncing, and I was like, this song is terrible. This song is awful. And unfortunately, I felt that about a lot of the songs on this album. Like, there were like literally three songs that I actually enjoyed listening to. Other than that, like, I liked cool parts of songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there, there was, there was a hook in Wow that I really thought was kind of cool, kind of in the middle. But overall, I'm just like the song's not that good. So I don't know. I felt like this was a very weak album, and I was very disappointed because I actually get excited when we do hip hop albums because I'm like, oh, like I hope this is gonna be good, and this just disappointed me big time. Uh, so
um,
and then I'm like, what? So when I listened to it the first time, I was like, who is this guy, right? And I look and I'm like, he's the Day and Night guy. That's him. The Day and Night, right? Like the band's playing here and you're singing down here. So yeah, that's I know I'm probably pissed off a lot of people right now, so I
probably.
apologize. Yeah.
No, I'm sort of with you on this one. Like, uh, maybe we'll have a bigger discussion on just the current state of hip hop. But like, the album itself, there wasn't anything like noteworthy about it. Like lyrically, I do agree with you. It was like very few bars that I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty cool line. Like there was so much there was a lack of emphasis on the lyrics on this album.
Hmm.
It felt more of, it was very much like a trap, hip hop, club type of album. There wasn't really a nice through line for the whole album. There wasn't like a message on any of the songs that were particularly like enticing. Um, I did like Blue Sky, which is the second last track on the album. I thought that was pretty cool. Anytime Kid Cudi goes like really hard, like hip hop, it's actually really fun to listen to because I think he's a phenomenal
Hmm.
like rapper. But uh, this sort of
And I
falls. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I agree with you. Those are the songs that I liked,
Yeah,
right? Because it's like authentic,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a lot of this album just feels like sort of. I don't want to say it sounds like a Drake album because it doesn't, but the feel of it is like it's trying to be what the kids are listening to today, what is going to be popular on in the clubs, on the radio. Like a lot of it is just very monotone but like pleasing to the ear, which is what Drake usually does on his records. So like
Mm,
I get why this album sounds the way it does cuz it's very much the flavor of today, but it's just such a watered down product that it's like it's hard to like anything on this album really.
mhm.
Except for the times when he just like really goes hardcore like hip hop on it. Um, but well produced.
I
It sounds really good.
I feel like hip hop nowadays, and again, like I want your opinion on this because I feel like country music nowadays has kind of gone very cookie cutter poppy, and it's taken away from its like traditional roots, like very much, like
Yeah.
except like exponentially. Do you find that with hip hop as well?
I guess there's two sort of angles there. So like yes, hip hop today is not hip hop of yesterday, which is fine because hip hop should be like the voice of the youth today, right? It should really
Hmm.
reflect what the kids are feeling and thinking
Hmm.
today. And doing that sort of like old school block party, get the boombox out and just like rap over jazz records, that doesn't happen today. Like kids aren't doing that in their
Hmm.
in their blocks. So like I'm not expecting today's hip hop to reflect that. But at the same time, a lot of hip hop today, there's such a de-emphasis on lyrics. It's just about your trap beats. It's about what synths you're using, what 808s you put on the record. Like it's so
Hmm.
much about putting out a vibe or making a club record that
Hmm.
there isn't an emphasis on the rapping part of it. And hip hop's not just rapping. Like the definition of hip hop is a much bigger spectrum, but a big part of it is like the lyrics and the rapping. That's a big draw point for hip hop. So
Hmm.
I'm sort of like that old head that's like, hey, can you just like rhyme? Just give me a few bars at least, and I'll be happy. But I don't know. I don't know
Hmm.
if like that's something that just doesn't happen anymore. One thing I will say though is like the European rappers, especially the British rappers like today, although they don't rap like the old school New York guys, like a lot of really good lyricists come out of Britain today. In terms
Hmm.
sonically, it's more like different drum and bass and like different genres mixed in with the hip hop, but
Hmm.
uh, there's a lot better stuff coming out of Europe, in my opinion. But in terms of like a North American hip hop today, it's just like I don't know. It's too
Yeah.
much what Drake is doing, um, which is
I
unfortunate.
find that the passion behind the music, like it just seems so manufactured to
Yeah,
me that it's just like the artist, like I don't feel what Kid Cudi is like his genre is. I don't feel his style of music. I
right.
don't feel like what he believes in here, like in his heart when he's making these songs where I guess that's what I'm talking about because it just has that just human just element ripped out of this album
Right.
and it's sad because I think it is a genre that you can definitely mix with trap music and hip hop.
Hmm.
It's definitely something that you can do, but like I think you can just do it elegantly, especially like you said, it's supposed to be the voice of the youth today. Like, focus on that. Like you can still play it at the clubs. The clubs are just an indoor version of those block parties,
Yep. Yeah, yeah,
right? So I just didn't buy it. It was just like here's the manufactured version,
yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like okay,
Yeah.
but then you hear these songs like he goes back to his school, like Blue Sky, like you said, like it's like he can do it. He can totally do it. And those songs, I felt what he was like, he's putting out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
All right. Eric, final thoughts, ratings. Let's wrap this one up.
I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 10.
Ooh, 3 out of 10. Damn.
3 to 10. I did not enjoy this. I tried listening to it multiple times, and I don't know. It just wasn't for me. So
I'm gonna give it a bit higher. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. I think it's just a perfectly average album. I did enjoy, like, if I just put it in the background, it's a pretty good album to vibe with, to be honest. Like, it
mm,
sounds really, really good. It's well produced. The instrumentation's great. Um, in the background, it's like great to listen to. But when you like actually try to find some sort of meaning or some sort of anything to like latch onto in these songs, it just isn't there. Um, so I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. If you want some good Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon, his debut album, that's where it's at. It's so good.
that's where it's at, eh?
It's so good.
All right. I feel
Uh,
like I have to listen to it just for redemption here.
yeah, it's so
So
good. Um, but yeah, 5 out of 10 for me, unfortunately. But I don't know. This is his last album on Republic Records. He doesn't have a recording contract anymore, so I don't know if this is his last album or if he's, I don't know, gonna go independent or sign a new record label. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see what he does next time around if he does. Okay. Those of you who are following along with us every single week on the albums, the album that we are going to be discussing and reviewing for next Monday will be "Saviors" by Green Day, their brand new record. I have not listened to this yet. I am hoping to
neither have I.
God it is good because
Same with me.
honestly, a good Green Day record today would be really nice.
Yep.
It
A
would be
hundred
really
percent.
nice.
I'm
Um,
definitely cranking this in the car tomorrow.
yeah.
Tomorrow morning.
So yeah, "Saviors" by Green Day will be the album that we are discussing next week. All right, perfect. That's the show. Oh, sorry, we did have one controversial statement today. I did say that Madonna could never sing in the first place. So uh,
That's
I
amazing.
really hope. I don't know if Madonna have like fans that are like kids these days. Like
Fans anymore?
no,
Does
not I.
Madonna have
I
any
I know
fans
she has
anymore?
fans, but are all her fans like 50-plus-year-olds that aren't on the internet?
I remember back in when we were kids, Ken. I remember listening, like hearing Madonna all the time on the radio, but I don't think you hear anybody singing any of her songs.
Um, what's a Madonna song? Oh, "Like a Virgin."
Like
I
a Virgin.
okay. No one really
Haven't heard that
sings
song
that.
in ages.
"Like a Prayer," or is it just "Prayer"? I forget what the name of the song is.
All their songs are like a
Yeah, like a
like a
something.
computer.
But yeah, I don't know if Madonna actually has any like fans that are in the youth category because like
I know she did the Bond theme song "World Is Not Enough,"
oh right.
and I thought it was trash. Or was it "Diamonds Are Forever" that she did?
Sound that Adele?
Again, no, that whatever both those Bond movie theme songs were trash. So I mean, I don't know if she's that big. Like what did
Her
she
song
like
was
sell like
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day? Okay, so I was completely wrong. Which that was trash. It was trash. That was also trash. A lot of the Pierce Bronson movies were trash.
Oh jeez, are we gonna get hate
Yeah,
from the James Bond's fan base now?
I hope not because I'm like one of their biggest fans. So I love James Bond.
Wow, Madonna's only 65. I thought she was older than that.
I thought she was at least 75.
I guess
I
because
was gonna guess mid 70s.
she was famous as a child, essentially,
Oh,
not as
for
like a
what?
no, no,
For
like just
what?
like a virgin. She was probably like 19 or something. I don't know. Like she started
Yeah.
young.
Hmm. Nothing
Um,
like trashing Madonna before the closer of the show.
James Dragonfly says she's lying for sure. She's definitely
Yeah.
75. But yeah, anyways.
She's been 65 for 10 years.
But anyways, that was the controversial part of our show. Anyways, that's it for the podcast for this week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We're here at twitch.tv/the Crossroads Music Podcast every 10 p.m. at 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT on Twitch, and Mondays. We'll be back next Monday. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Music, all the places where you get your podcasts. I think that's it. Oh, the YouTube channel. I'm gonna start posting our album reviews for this year again on that channel. So
Mm.
be on the lookout for that. I'm sure we'll get some hate comments on there too.
I'm
Um,
sorry for this episode, people who love Kid Cudi. I'm so sorry. I just like I would love for the true fans to give me stuff to listen to because I'm always down to listen.
yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll see if we can add some more hip hop stuff, and hopefully we get good hip hop albums this year. But we'll see. We'll see if that
yeah.
actually happens. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is the Crossroads Music Podcast, and we will catch you all next time.